Fight fans, welcome to the biggest fight of the year. Wait, I'm hearing this will not be the biggest fight of the year. I'm sorry. No Spence for this one. It's Pacquiao, Ugas. I got my man Raheem Palmer here with me to talk about it. So first of all, let's just talk about what happened. Manny Pacquiao is still fighting, obviously. Errol Spence has an eye injury. He had to pull out last minute, so that completely changes the dynamics of this fight. But Yordenis Ugas is a pro. He's great. First off, Raheem, what are you feeling about this fight? How have your thoughts changed? Go ahead.
I think this is a really interesting fight. And I think it's a tough fight for Manny Pacquiao. I mean, first things first, Manny Pacquiao is 42 years old. He hasn't fought since July of 2019 when he beat Keith Thurman. His opponent in Ugas is 35 years old. He's 5'9", so he has the height advantage. He has the reach advantage, about 2 inches. And this guy's a tough, he's a tough opponent. So, to take him at the last minute, it shows that Pacquiao is really going out there and trying to fight the best. And this is not going to be an easy fight. I mean, you're fighting a younger guy. You're fighting a guy who really, he's only lost once in the last 4 years. That was a split decision loss against Sean Porter. So I think we're going to see a good fight. It's not Spence, but it's going to be a good competitive fight.
I'm glad you brought up the Sean Porter fight because a lot of people thought that he won that fight and he should be champion at this point. So in reality, we're still getting an expert level fighter, a guy who really knows what he's doing. Still, the books open this fight at -300 for Pacquiao. He's since moved to -360, which means people are really leaning towards Pacquiao. But as you mentioned, he's 40-something years old. I mean, how much longer can we continue to expect this guy to be the guy he was in 2009 when he was at his peak?
I mean, I think the thing with Manny Pacquiao is, we've seen this guy as he's gotten older, he's faded during the stretch of fights. This guy struggled with Jeff Horn. I mean, and then in boxing, a sport like boxing, you could fall off the cliff at any moment. 2019 was 2 years ago, and I don't think people necessarily recognize that. And I think when it comes to the odds for Pacquiao and some of the other big fighters, you're always going to get the public back in Pacquiao. So when you look at the Spence fight, I mean, that was up as high as 4-1, and it was getting bet down to Pacquiao to 2-1 for Spence as a favorite against Pacquiao. And to me, I think Spence was the guy in that fight. So if Pacquiao's fighting a guy who nobody, like casual fans, they don't really recognize his name, he's going to get bet up a little bit. And I think at some point we may see some value on Ugas.
All right. 2 questions. One, we typically see Pacquiao fights get a ton of money thrown on them at the end of the week, right? Is it a smart idea to bet Pacquiao or Ugas now, or should someone wait until the end of the week to see how things shape up?
I think if you like Pacquiao, you need to move ASAP because, the odds are only going to go up. But I think if you like Ugas, you can wait this out, wait for the public to come in and take Pacquiao, and then get the best of the number right before the fight.
The other thing is we've seen Pacquiao lose some questionable decisions, right? He's gotten quote unquote robbed a few times. I'm not going to say names, Jeff Horn, but is there a possibility that Ugas could somehow maybe flip his luck, that he got unlucky in the split decision loss to Sean Porter? Maybe some of that changes here because we see Pacquiao fights, sometimes they don't go the way that we expect them to go once we get to the cards.
I do think that's a possibility. I mean, when you look at the fact that, Pacquiao's no longer under top rank. So you don't kind of have to worry about, the Bob Arum stimulus package. And then also, I mean, Pacquiao, like I mentioned before, Pacquiao has faded down a stretch of fights. He's not the same guy that he used to be. And, 2 years off, that's a long time. I mean, Ugas has fought 3 times since the last time Pacquiao has fought. So, he could step into the ring on Saturday night and totally not be the same guy. So there's a real possibility for upset here.
All right. We're not making picks, but which way are you leaning? I personally would like to see when the over-under on rounds comes out because I feel like there's probably going to be more value there. But where are you leaning? How are you looking at this fight right now?
I'm personally still struggling with this one. I think it's going to be a close fight, though. And I think, this goes the distance. So I agree with you on waiting for the over-under rounds to come out and, some of the prop bets beyond that. But I think that's where the value is.
All right, folks, like I said, this is no longer the biggest fight of the year, but it's still the biggest fight of the week, probably the biggest fight of this month, obviously, because we haven't seen anything. But we'll be back to talk more about this fight later in the week. Keep it locked to Action Network.